In the heart of Argentina, a boy was born, destined to shake the world. From dusty streets to the jungles of revolution, his journey defied every limit. Hunted by armies, feared by empires, his name became a legend. This is the untold story of Ernesto Che Guevara and the final moments that changed history forever. In the dusty streets of Rosario, Argentina, on the 14th of June, 1928, a boy was born who would one day become one of the most recognizable faces of rebellion the world has ever seen. His name was Ernesto Guevara de la Serna. To his friends, he was simply Ernesto. To history, he became Che. From the very beginning, fate threw challenges at him, crippling asthma that would have broken the spirit of a lesser man. But Che was different. His childhood was filled with books, political debates, and sports, and beneath his calm gaze burned a restless hunger for something greater. In 1951, at the age of 23, Che mounted a battered motorcycle with his friend Alberto Granado and set off across the raw, untamed landscapes of South America. The journey would change him forever. He rode through dusty villages and forgotten mining towns, across endless deserts and into the heart of human suffering. In the shanty towns of Chile, he saw children with empty eyes. In the leper colonies of Peru, he worked alongside the sick and dying. And as the Andes cast their long shadows over his path, Che's youthful dreams hardened into a conviction. Something was deeply wrong with the world, and he would spend his life fighting to change it. That conviction led him to Guatemala in 1954, where he witnessed the fall of President Jacobo Arbenz, overthrown in a CIA-backed coup. Che saw not just the end of a government, but the invisible hand of empire crushing the hopes of the people. It was here that anti-imperialism became his creed. 2 years later, in a smoky room in Mexico City, Che met a man whose destiny would intertwine with his own, Fidel Castro. They spoke late into the night about revolution, about Cuba, about liberation. By the time dawn broke, Che was no longer just a doctor. He was a soldier of the cause. In 1956, Che boarded a creaking yacht called Grauma with Fidel, Raul, and a band of 80 revolutionaries, sailing toward the shores of Cuba. What awaited them was no romantic adventure. Most of the men were killed within days of landing, but Che survived. In the Sierra Maestra Mountains, he transformed into a master of guerrilla warfare, a commander feared by the enemy and respected by his comrades. With his unwavering discipline and fiery speeches, he inspired peasants to take up arms. The climax came in late 1958 at the Battle of Santa Clara, when Che's forces derailed an armored train carrying Batista's troops. It was the final blow. The dictator fled, and the Cuban Revolution triumphed. Victory did not quench his thirst. In Havana, Che served as a government minister, shaping economic policies and leading medical missions. Yet the desk in the office could not hold him. Che believed revolution must spread, or it would die. In 1965, he disappeared from public life, resurfacing months later in the heart of Africa, fighting in the Congo. The mission failed, but Che's resolve only deepened. His last and most dangerous campaign began in 1966 in the remote jungles of Bolivia. He hoped to ignite a continental uprising, but the Bolivian peasants did not rally to his cause. His guerrilla band was hunted, starved, and exhausted. On October 8, 1967, Che was wounded in a firefight and captured by Bolivian soldiers, guided, it is said, by the hand of the CIA. The next day, in a small schoolhouse in the village of La Higuera, Ernesto Che Guevara was executed. His last words to his killer were calm, almost defiant. "Shoot, coward. You are only going to kill a man." Che's body was hidden in an unmarked grave, but the legend refused to die. In 1997, his remains were found and returned to Cuba, where they now rest in Santa Clara, the city he helped liberate. His image, captured in that iconic photograph by Alberto Corda, has become the most reproduced portrait in human history. To some, Che is a martyr, a symbol of resistance against oppression. To others, he is a fanatic, a man whose ideals justified violence. Yet one truth remains. Che Guevara's life was a relentless march toward an uncompromising vision, a vision that still haunts, inspires, and divides the world today.